Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Film Podcast. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Tyler.
and we're -1 today and next week, but he will be back.
Wait, really? Where is he? Is he really not here?
Justin?
Justin? Justin?
No,
Oh my
I
god.
sent him on a quest.
Oh, what is this quest?
Can't tell you.
What?
Can't tell
How
anyone.
come I'm kept out of the loop? It's because I'm the new member, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? I'm being kept out of the loop.
Yeah, okay, I did have to tell you that he had to go find the new hire paperwork so that you eventually get paid.
Yes. 4 cents coming my way.
And then when he found it, he's gonna toss it into Mordor.
And remember, folks, it's only 4 cents if you continue to watch this podcast and YouTube channel without liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing it with your closest friends and family.
You really want to get to that 50,000 so we can watch Materialist, huh?
Yeah, dude, we got to give the audience what they want because I need to prove you wrong that Materialist. Hey, I'm not saying Materialist is supposed to be like Citizen Kane or anything here, right? I'm saying that Materialist is a decent take on, or a decent spin on the romance movie formula. And you guys don't like the movie because you went in expecting it to be something it's not. So
I don't think you can save a movie with Dakota Johnson in it.
I mean, I think she's kind of in the Kristen Stewart bandwagon right now, or Kristen Stewart wagon, I should say, where she's trying so desperately and in so many ways to kind of break the Twilight mold, but for her, it's the 50 Shades of Grey mold. And I mean, hell, we're how far outside of that franchise ending? It ended, the first one ended in 2015.
Which, unsure if you know, but actually 50 Shades of Grey is a fan fiction of Twilight originally.
I do know that, yes. And Twilight is a fan fiction of something, right?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, no,
To me, I actually, Twilight is a secret passion of mine. I actually really liked those movies.
I mean, it's a movie that exists. It's a movie I can commend for doing something different with the vampire formula. But I mean, the movie's so poorly directed and acted that it's just.
No, don't get me wrong. Like Kristen Stewart was not great in that movie. Nobody was great.
Yeah.
The movies are fun to watch and they're interesting, but like, it's almost more fun to like watch and see and just kind of make fun of the acting at this point because you can tell nobody really wanted to be a part of it.
My God, oh yeah, I was looking up when the 50 Shades of Grey franchise ended. Did you ever see those movies?
Yeah, I watched them with Courtney actually.
You watched all of them?
Yeah.
Because, if the okay, so the last one came out in 2018. So I actually think if that movie would have leaned more into like the thrillery aspects of the second and third, I think it could have been a lot more interesting. But instead, it just leans and obviously it leans so heavily into that relationship between those two wholly unlikable people that it just doesn't work.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Courtney was very upset with me because as we started the second and third movie, I'd tell her exactly what would happen because it's the same exact plot as Twilight.
Yeah, well, it makes sense if it's Twilight fan
I
fiction.
know, but
No,
like even there's one of the movies where like he gets in a helicopter crash. Is it the second movie where he like crashes his helicopter and she thinks he's dead? And I was like, starting that movie, I was like, okay, so watching that first one, I bet you he's gonna get in like some kind of devastating accident and she's gonna think he's dead for most of this movie while she meets another guy, right? And Courtney just shook her head and got mad at me.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So I was right. So Twilight is not fan fiction, but Stephenie Meyer was inspired by My Chemical Romance and the themes of their work.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
And then I remember seeing a thing on the internet where because My Chemical Romance or Gerard Way was inspired to start writing songs because of 9/11.
Yep.
The only reason we have Twilight is because of 9/11.
That is true, yeah. I did see that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hell of a butterfly effect. So, welcome to this episode where we talk all about the 50 Shades of Grey franchise.
Yeah, that was not planned at all. This came out of nowhere. We're actually talking about Shelby Oaks today.
This is why scripts aren't fun because
Yeah.
you don't get this good back and forth stuff going on.
It,
But yes, Shelby O.
it's actually really funny because we started this episode too saying like, let's just get through this quick. We're gonna have some short episodes with Justin, and here we are talking about Twilight and 50 Shades of
For
Grey out of
heavens.
nowhere.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
so
So yeah.
Shelby
Set up
Oaks.
Shelby Oaks for us, Ryan.
Okay, so Shelby Oaks. It is a horror movie that I completely flew under my radar. It was a Kickstarter movie from a film reviewer on YouTube, Chris Duckman, uh, inspired by other kind of found footage films, even though I really wouldn't consider this one a found footage film. But Blair Witch, other. Go on, Tyler. I know you know a couple more with there that inspired him, but
Yeah, so Lake Mungo was a big inspiration for him. The Taking of Deborah Logan, which is an awesome found footage movie
yeah,
if you haven't seen it. It's not found footage, but he was inspired by Hereditary, and realistically, the third act of this movie like has Hereditary like all over it. And I found out that apparently um Chris Stuckman based a lot of this off of his strained relationship with his sister, who I think was kicked out or like left the Jehovah's Witness community
yeah,
that
I did
that
read
they were
that.
a part of. So yeah, so a lot of horror influences here. You can definitely tell that Stuckman as a filmmaker was inspired by maybe not necessarily like early found footage with Blair Witch, although there is a lot of that in there, but he's inspired a lot by that late 2000s to like mid 2010s found footage era that frankly I can't believe I feel a little nostalgic for because at the time I just railed with it. Like, are we going to get anything that is not a found footage horror movie these days? And we have. Like, horror has become far more prestiged of a genre since about 2015. But yeah, I mean, Shelby Oaks was kind of a nice blast from the past, if you will. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to agree
Yeah,
with you, and I also want to start this off by saying that I think we have a little different views of how much we like the movie just because I had a very different experience with my ADD in our movie theater, and it's not the movie's fault
yeah,
at all. I want to start by saying that this is not like my gripes with the movie was not anything to do with the movie. It was our theater experience, and like we had a broken sound system. I couldn't hear half the
yeah.
movie, and I'm deaf. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna sound
So
like I don't like this movie, but I will give it another try. I promise.
yeah, no, 100%. So I guess to emphasize, so basically what happened with because me and you saw this movie together.
Yeah.
And when we sat in the theater, it seemed like I don't think it was the sound system. I almost think there was like something in the air ducts that was causing like a constant clicking sound. So the best way I could describe it is if you've ever like gone to a theater and you've seen a movie on actual film, that sort of like click 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 sound that the projector makes, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
So maybe the reason why I wasn't super bothered by this experience, which I obviously definitely bothered you, was because I kind of grew up nostalgic for that sort of like old school film. I also worked at a movie theater where we had old school film longer than basically every other theater in the area. So yeah, I probably had a better opportunity to get in this movie than you. And I remember you walking out and you were just like instantly like, nah, that film
Well,
experience ruined it.
and that's the thing is like the clicking wasn't even the biggest because I love old. I have a Super 8 on top of there that I still throw on sometimes. Like I love
Mhm.
old film. That's not the problem. What I had the issue was there were parts in the movie where like especially the main girl whose name I truly don't even remember because I was so distracted this whole movie. But the main girl, she'd be like talking to her husband or somebody, and all of a sudden she'd just go like this, and this is all I could hear. And then I couldn't. I put subtitles on my movies. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
I do too. No,
But
I act like I don't even think it should be a hot take, but I honestly truly believe that all movies in theaters should be shown with subtitles.
yeah,
Because one, subtitles just make it better because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the movies and I'm like, what did they say? But
hmm
like if I come home, I never have that issue. Plus it's an accessibility thing, right?
yeah,
People will no longer have to get like the little um, you know, arm thing that can show you subtitles if you're deaf of if you're deaf or hard of hearing. So like do it, movie theaters. Like it can't be that difficult.
no.
So yeah,
That's my hot take for this before we
yeah.
start. Sorry, but
No. Absolutely. Go ahead.
no.
Mia is the main character's name, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Yeah, Mia.
Yeah.
besides that, like what I could get into the movie
Yeah.
already, I think I kind of could dig the there's kind of like a drastic like genre change almost like I'd say 15 minutes into the movie.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
where
talking about like
how we go from
if
kind
anything.
kind of almost like an investigation discovery type show
Mhm.
into more of like an actual like not found footage film.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel it's more of a genre shift rather than like film style
Yeah.
shift. Like it clearly switches styles on us. I don't know if it switches genres, but I could see where you're coming from there.
Yeah. Um I mean, I it's hard for me because so much of the movie is honestly already out of my brain. We saw it almost what 2 weeks ago.
Probably around there. Yeah.
That it it's not really a movie that has stuck with me, and once again, I'm not sure if it's because of my theater experience where I just didn't care, or if it's because of the movie. But I mean, I didn't honestly care for a lot of the twists in the movie.
No. No, that's totally fair. I mean, I would definitely argue that 2/3 of this movie I was really, really, really into.
Yeah,
I think when we're building up to what the eventual twist of the movie is, I think it's very interesting. I was kind of engrossed by the mystery aspect of this movie, and the found footage style really kind of made me nostalgic because there was a period of time where I was just, right around the time of like the third or fourth Paranormal Activity film, I'm like, okay, I'm over this style. It's basically just an excuse to make cheap horror movies with poor cinematography, but I kind of liked what Stuckman was doing here. You can very clearly tell that like this is a first movie, right?
yeah,
This is not an experienced filmmaker by any stretch of the imagination. And I was impressed by his ability to create 2/3 of a movie once again that I was at least engrossed by to some degree. But yeah, the movie, I mean, without spoiling it, the movie essentially tries to be Hereditary
yeah.
for like the last third of the movie, and it just ends up being at best unfinished, but at worst, like just poorly explained. Um, you really don't understand like why things are happening in the movie. You're never really given any satisfying answers. And it's a shame because, I truly think that this could have been a surprise hit if it could just stick the landing, right? And you know
Agreed.
what? Not all people stick the landing. Stephen King has made a career out of not sticking the landing. So I mean, I'm not going to complain too much here, but like I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong in that the movie hasn't stuck with me either. Like once again, it's been about 2 weeks. I'm like hard pressed to even think of a scene that I really liked or anything like that. But um, I think the movie's main draw is its atmosphere. If anything, even with the like contained congestion of found footage, I think it does a good job of like building up what a town of Shelby Oaks is. There's at least some familiar faces in there. I think Keith David was like the prison
Yeah,
warden.
Keith David shows up.
Um,
The
yeah.
The guy that played Jason,
Oh,
um,
Derek Mears
Derek Mears shows
in
up.
Jason in the remake, for the
Yes,
record.
yes,
Yeah,
in the remake.
not
Sorry.
like mhm, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I found myself engrossed for about 90 minutes. It doesn't work. I'm not going to remember this movie in 10 years. It's by no means going to live up to the Blair Witch Project style of like
Oh
defining
no.
moment for the subgenre. But I mean, if you're at home and it's on HBO and you're looking for like a good old fashioned found footage movie, I'd give it a check out. Plus, you'd be supporting young non big time filmmakers like Stuckman famously was a YouTube film critic for many years before kind of breaking into actual filmmaking itself. Um funny enough, like I actually kind of fell out of love with Stuckman as a reviewer when he became a filmmaker because he's talked specifically about how he doesn't find criticizing or negatively reviewing movies a positive experience anymore, because as a filmmaker, you hate to get that sort of negativity. And I understand that to a certain degree, but it's very hard to be a film critic and a filmmaker. Like they're just two
Agree.
diametrically opposing jobs.
But also, like you said before, you have to give him respect for like moving
Mhm.
from the review side to actually creating a film. It takes a lot to do a Kickstarter and to be able to not only do a Kickstarter but do a Kickstarter that was so successful that you were able to fund your movie. That is a
Yeah.
huge feat, and like what he did with this is truly commendable. It's not gonna win an Oscar, but it does give hope that like at some point he may make better films. Who knows? He might move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie can like get him on the map, and then, you know, can he get some like legitimate help with the script? Can he get maybe like one or two really big stars? Like yeah, I mean the sky's the limit for him. Like I'm curious enough to see what he does going forward. I find so much of the movies I anticipate are not for story anymore. It's for who's making that story,
Yes.
right? Next week, we're going to be talking about a movie called Bugonia by Yorgos Lanthimos, a filmmaker whose previous films I have enjoyed so much that at this point, no matter what he's making, no matter how good it is, I'm still going to have respect for a filmmaker that I think is taking legitimate risks. And, maybe he's not, the Yorgos Lanthimos or the Alfred Hitchcock or the Quentin Tarantino or the Steven Spielberg of his era. But I'm at least curious enough to see what else he's got in the tank.
See, but as it comes from YouTubers that have moved on to make films that we've seen so far, I
Mhm.
believe it has started
What
recently
else is there?
with the Philippou brothers. Talk to me and bring her back.
Oh yeah,
Um,
two much better films.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that like Stuckman is obviously like the ability to move into the actual film industry is now becoming more of an option. I know Markiplier is currently working on a movie that he's been working on for 3 years. Um, Andrew Bowser, or as people would know, the Onyx of Fortuitous. He's the
Hmm.
weird satanic guy on YouTube. That I'll insert clip of Andrew Bowser.
I don't know. Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
But I actually kickstarted his movie, and that was very good. Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. Good horror comedy. It's becoming more of an accessibility for people that have started with YouTube to move into the film industry, and that's what we're going to see more of, I think, instead of these top brand film companies. We're going to see more of maybe like a lower industry type people coming in and starting to make their own film companies. I'm thinking, especially in the horror
Yeah, I
industry.
mean, the horror industry's always been like the best bed for that kind of cinema, right? I
Yeah,
mean, horror is by no means like, blockbuster, A-list, like premier tentpole cinema, right? I mean, it's never going to pull in like Avengers Endgame or Avatar numbers.
yeah,
But I mean, I think one of the reasons why I like the horror genre so much is, yeah, I mean, we get inundated with sequels, right? We're on the 11th Saw film, we're on the 10th Freddy Krueger movie, but generally there's a lot of room to experiment in this franchise where there's not, or sorry, in this genre where there's really not, with bigger IPs, that room to experiment. Like we don't get a lot of new and exciting IPs, and when we do try new things and they bomb, like your John Carters, your Lone Rangers, right? Two massive box office bombs that were supposed to be original IPs that could start new franchises. When you see those bombs, these companies in a capitalistic system are less likely to take those risks in the future, and it's a shame. But when you're making horror movies for a couple $1 million a piece, you get a lot more room for narrative creativity here, and that's why I think even if you're not a fan of horror, but you're a fan of movies and you want to see new ideas, give it a try because there's a lot of great stuff out there. Don't get me wrong, a lot of slop
there's
too,
yeah.
but I mean, you're just not getting the level of consistent, strong narrative storytelling in any other genre than the horror genre.
But even the slop historically has come into, I mean, cult followings. I mean, if you look at my
Yeah.
background, so much slop is in my background. I mean, between Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 and this guy down here. Sorry, Onyx of Fortuitous. I got this for Kickstarting. The
Oh, that's him. Okay,
Yeah.
I've seen that guy. I didn't know that was his name.
Yeah, the I can't remember any of his stuff. The I don't know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like so much slop has grown into what the horror community loves.
Yeah.
So I do think that like Shelby Oaks, there's gonna be somebody out there 20 years from now that's like, I love that old movie. You know, my dad watched it. Blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about the horror industry is that there's always gonna be a fan.
100%. Yeah. And most horror fans are diehard. Like,
Yeah.
you make something good, horror fans will come out and see it. I mean, look at Weapons. I mean, Sinners is maybe a little bit more prestige-y than something like Weapons or Shelby Oaks, but like Sinners has the horror elements, and because it's a good movie, did you hear that? Ryan's brother. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. I agree.
More people will see it, and you get that level of crossover success.
Yeah, and I would say Sinners is a good kind of gateway horror movie of like, it's not really horror, but like, I know tons of people that don't like horror movies that would still like Sinners because it's a multi-genre.
Yeah, my girlfriend Lizzie, not a horror fan by any stretch of the imagination. Dug Sinners. I think Sinners is just a perfect gateway style horror movie. And even though it is rated R, I think it's a movie you could show to, you know, a 12, 13-year-old. And I think they can mostly understand what's going on. Maybe they're not going to get all the historical context and stuff that I really find fascinating about the movie, but I think you could go and just enjoy it as like a vampire film for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I also, coming from something, so like my wife personally does not like movies of that time period because she's a very big empath, and like seeing how bad it was for especially people of color at that time, it affects her horribly. But I would say that she'd select that movie because it does such a good job of not living in that. You're not watching a Django Unchained movie. You're watching something that is completely different, and I felt like Sinners was just so well done with everything. And that may just be because I like Sinners so much, and I love Django Unchained, but I mean, Django Unchained is hard for some people to watch, let me say.
Oh, dude, don't get me wrong. I mean, Django Unchained's in like my top 5 movies of all time. Greatest theater experience I think I've ever had.
I saw it with you in theaters.
Not everybody's gonna take
it.
Yeah. God, yeah. I remember my grandma got mad because it came out Christmas of 2012, and I left our family Christmas party early to go see like a 10 o'clock release. And I will never forget, crowded theater. Everyone was into the movie. Everyone was laughing at the jokes.
Once again, I was with you.
Oh, you went?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we left playing the I need 100 black coffins for 100 dead
100
men.
black coffins for 100 bad
We're like
men.
banging to that outside.
Yeah. Still a great song.
Yep.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about Shelby Oaks. Do you?
No, I don't. I think that it's a filler movie. I mean, like I said, I hope that Chris Stuckman takes this and learns something from it and tries to do something more original. I think that's my problem, is like you said, almost every part of this movie was pulled from something else, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't feel like an original concept. It felt like Hereditary, which I've never seen, so I can't compare, but I know people say it's like Hereditary. Moving on, before Tyler yells at me for not saying Hereditary. It pulls from Blair Witch. It pulls
watch
from
Hereditary,
Mongol Lake.
Jesus Christ.
It pulls from so many different that it's just hard for me to believe that this was an original concept. Unlike the Philippou brothers, I feel like Talk to Me was a very original concept. I feel like Bring Her Back felt like it was the same world as Talk to Me, but it was still an original concept. And it can still be done, and that's what we need in horror right now, is original concepts, not what we've seen already.
And don't get me wrong, I think the last like 10 years or so we've gotten that. Like
Tons.
we've gotten the Philippou brothers, we've gotten Ari Aster, we've gotten blah blah blah. James Wan, right?
Yep.
Like we have that in the horror genre. Like if there's any genre right now that has like genuine auteurs, it's this genre.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Speaking about James Wan real quick before we move forward, I think it was either last week or the week before, you had told me that I needed to watch Malignant.
Dude, it's
such
I already know where this is going.
Bad movie. It's so dumb.
It's not.
It was so dumb.
Look, I get that you probably called the twist Malignant, but once that twist is revealed and then you get that scene in the police station where it just like goes absolutely bananas. I don't remember a time when I was having like more fun with the movie.
No,
like
it was dumb. It was I guess the twist for 10 minutes into the movie when it first showed the killer and their limbs were backwards, and I was like, oh, Malignant. I bet you it's on the back of her head. Yeah. Sorry, plot twist, but you can skip
the movie's 4 years.
It's a dumb movie.
Yeah. No, it's not. Watch it. It's fun.
I did watch it.
At the very least, I mean, it's not prestige horror by any means, but you will have fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, I say it's dumb, but like, yeah, it was a fun movie to watch. Would I choose to watch it again if there was literally nothing else on? I'd throw it on, but like, yeah, I wouldn't say it's anywhere near my top 3 favorite James Wan movies.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. I mean, it's hard because Wan's made some truly great movies.
Yeah.
We keep going way off topic here. I think we should wrap up here by saying, do you recommend Shelby Oaks? And when should people see Shelby Oaks?
I think that you should catch Shelby Oaks at home on a streaming service that you already pay for.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, but like, it's not the day it comes out on Netflix, put it to the top of your queue kind of movie either. No. Like, honestly, I think if you're walking through a used DVD store and you see a copy of it for $1.99, throw it on your shelf, let it sit there for 3 years, and then watch it later and think, yeah, not bad.
Yeah. It's not a bad movie. It's just unoriginal, and
I gave it a positive review. Like,
yeah, I mean, you gave it a better review than I gave it, and I will.
We actually gave it the same amount of stars.
Oh well, I wrote less nice things about it, but I will say that out of everybody that responded to my review on TikTok and everything, everybody said that was a theater experience. That the movie should not have been that quiet. That all of the issues that I had, like even beyond the clicking, because that was obviously not the movie, that like all of my issues that I write about in my review, they said nothing should have been like that in the movie.
No, I agree. I think if you watch this movie again, I think you'll end up enjoying it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about that.
No, I really don't have anything else to say about the movie either.
Cool. Well, folks, that was our review of Shelby Oaks.
Nice and quick this week. See, because we're missing a person, we have to cut it by a third.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Sure.
All right, cool. Well, I'll see you in a week to talk about Begonia.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We're not going to do it right now. We'll wear the same clothes in a week, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, see you all next week.
And bye-bye. Shelby Oaks calls to you.